Ladies and gentlemen, from high atop the mountaintop of Mount Manitoba, it's the Buchnerverse. And here in the Buchnerverse, we're looking at how the hell did this go #1? And it wasn't my choice. But my partners, Andrew Tessmann and Brad Nelson, came prepared. Brad came especially prepared because it was his turn. And maybe he's not that sexy because he's still got his shirt on.
Oh, hang on.
No. Oh, for fuck. That really wasn't where I was going.
Careful, you'll be blinded from the whiteness.
Yeah.
Blinded by the white, revved up like a deuce, another runner in it. That went #1 too, by the way. That was not what I was expecting you to do, Brad. I'm
really
sorry. You
tell Brad to take off an article of clothing, especially pants, and he will drop trout.
I don't have the same relationship that the two of you do.
Doesn't matter. A stranger in the street could say, "Hey, Brad, take off your pants," and he'd be like, "Okay."
Well, yeah, it sounds like the right thing to do.
Well, I know that he showed up to this show without any pants, but anyway, Brad, this is your show technically,
and I am too sexy for my shirt,
and it hurts.
You could put your shirt back on though.
I probably could. We don't want to destroy the viewership.
I don't know. It might go up.
You can leave your shirt on. Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, and yet they all sort of agreed in that they were still having sex with Joe Cocker. I've never thought about that. How come no comedian's ever done Joe Cocker having sex before? But anyway, we've got Right Said Fred, and it's an interesting one, one that I keep looking at. Someone was going to pick it, and when we look at this from a North American perspective, we're thinking, this is just some one-hit wonder blokes. That's not.
It was for us. It absolutely was for us.
Right. From this side of the pond, as they call it. But I just want to open up here with the thoughts that I remember this when I was a kid, or I guess not a kid, I would have been 20, 21. So this would have been my college days. And I was talking about this with somebody today, and in the early 90s, late 80s, we didn't look at music so much as we absorbed it with our eyes and sound. Mm-hmm. So the first time I saw this, heard it was the video and them. I thought, I was uncomfortable. Not because, no, and not where you're going. Not because they wanted to have, they were too sexy for pussy, cat. Also, it's like, oh shit, I thought we weren't supposed to glorify these fucking bald Nazi skinheads.
Yeah, because anybody who was shaved bald-headed on purpose back then was, a skinhead or a punk.
Yes, honestly, it was. I mean, like, there is a certain reality to that. Like, there were not shaven-headed white guys back then.
There were, but they also went to meetings in pointy hats and stuff.
Right. Okay, fine. But you know where I'm going with that. I mean, like, nowadays, it's like, okay, you're losing your hair, like embrace it, and you probably look better, and that's all fine and good. Well, you and I, we've done pretty good.
You're doing a lot better than I am, my friend. There's a solar panel that I try to disguise up here.
Oh, was there? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, but no, I mean, like, that's pretty much the way we used to think back then.
Let's talk about who these guys are and where they came from.
Yeah, go ahead.
And basically, they were gym bros that were also musicians.
They ran a gym.
Well, yeah, bros, because they're brothers.
Mm-hmm. They are brothers. Brothers.
Easy for you to say.
And they ran a gym. Gym/dance studio.
Yeah, but no way it was a disco dancing studio.
No way, I'm disco dancing.
Sorry.
And then they were playing with actually some like reasonably well-known bands.
Reasonably, yeah, they were session musicians for some really big names.
Yeah, but then never really found their niche, and then were just messing around in the studio and started riffing on how he's too sexy for his shirt, and it kind of stuck.
Yeah. Well,
But
they're
it was
watching these guys
turned
parading
down
around
by
the gym.
every studio in town.
I don't blame them. No, honestly,
but-
I don't blame those studios. I'm like, you're thinking of that at that time. Does this sound like a hit? Like, like based on what you know, this sounds like a novelty. And what are you going to get out of these guys?
It is a novelty.
100% it is.
100% campy bullshit novelty.
Mhm.
But sometimes a novelty sticks. And
Yeah.
I guess the person who they found to actually promote it couldn't decide if he loved it or he hated it, but it just stuck in his head. So he decided that he'd take a shot on it.
Yeah. So, go ahead. You first.
Okay, well, I was gonna just say, like I hated this song at that time. Fucking hated it. I don't know that I hate it necessarily now, but at that time, it's like this. This is also in my musical snob days, putting it bluntly. So like, I was not going to sort of like take parody or like anything like, yeah, music's going to be, you know, like I was that guy. Saying that, how did this stick to the point? Like we just did a #1 song last time where Andrew was torn between two lovers. She wasn't feeling like a fool, but feeling like a fool. But
don't do that ever again. I don't need that song stuck up here ever again. It was in there for like the better part of a week. I'm not happy.
My bad. But here we are 21 years later. So like this morning I went into physio. So I'm doing physiotherapy because I'm a human gelatinous blob. And so it's the first time I met this lady, and it's like, oh, so what are you doing? What do you do for your life? And then, well, you know, tonight I'm doing a podcast about I'm too sexy.
That's a good icebreaker.
Well, because that's what I do, right? So I said that. And so this lovely lady who's probably in her early 30s, she knew that song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was by Fred.
Right, you said.
Right, yeah, but she remembers that song. This song sticks. It's been like every time you like for a movie, a film, a TV show, whatever movie and a film is the same thing.
Hey,
anyway.
It's Encino Man brought it out as the ultimate makeover montage.
Mm-hmm.
That's true too. Yes.
So a little bit of backstory on this one
that
I found really interesting was the fact that, you know, these guys are running a gym and they're watching all these guys posing in the mirror and, you know, coming out shirtless and working out and stuff like that. And that's where they started doing this in a traditional pastime of taking the piss.
Yeah.
So
it is basically the official British pastime.
Yeah. So they're doing this. They're coming up with this and what have you. And because they're session musicians, they sit down and they write it in the studio. Now it comes off as a semi-acoustic, whatever track, but the people in the producer's car who he played this to wanted to do a remix of it and wanted to make it a little more dancey. And so that's when we got this song out of the deal. So instead of being, you know, not as poppy as dancey, because this would have never flown as a, you know, acoustic electric song.
No,
absolutely not. And it's also, though, the funny thing is it is just an amalgamation of early 90s electro pop. Even that do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do riff is completely ripped out of about 8 other songs.
Yeah.
There's very little that's original to this, aside from it's Richard, right? Richard Fairbrest is the one who's actually singing. Or not, he's not even singing. He's not rapping, he's not singing, he's just like monotoning in a like vocal phrase.
If you're sitting there going,
a singer. He can sing.
I'm too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me. There's a little bit of singing going on there.
There's not really. But he can, that's not how he performs all of his songs. He can actually sing. But this is
just kiss. I don't know. You're giving him way more credit on his singing ability. I'm not
saying he's a good singer, but he's not like atrocious.
And you're lying, but you could say it.
When you were mentioning that this one isn't very original, Andrea, you're absolutely right, because the backing track, the main track in behind is Hendrix.
Yep.
Third
And
Stone
they
from the
threatened to
Sun.
sue over it.
Yeah, Third Stone from the Sun. And I had no idea because I'd never actually heard that song. And I like Hendrix, but I've only heard, select bits, I suppose, not all of his B-sides and such. So yeah, you're absolutely 100% right in saying that this thing is not original at all, except for the lampoon that they're doing on these egocentric gym bros.
But yeah,
So
but that's not how a lot of it. Oh, sorry, Andrea, go ahead.
I was going to say it's lampooning the egocentric gym bros, but they're also close enough to the egocentric gym bros in their look and whatnot that it comes across as being just playful banter and not mean.
That's the Brit taking the piss.
And
I think there's something else though with this era. When we look at models, because like Brad, you and I, we're at that age. We can remember we're in the early 90s. There was the era of the supermodel.
You were going to compare my looks to one.
Sure. What's that?
I thought you were going to compare my looks to, your average supermodel.
Oh, that's all.
We could, but nobody wants to see that comparison.
I could strut, do my little turn on the catwalk.
But what Kirk's saying is absolutely right. I was going to say the same thing. It was an era of obsession with models. They were had superstar status. You think Christy Brinkley and crap.
Go ahead, do it.
No, you're the ones who had the pictures on your walls that you masturbated to.
Samantha Fox was
that's yours. Yes, that's right.
Big career for me, but anyway.
I didn't care for any of the Twiggy
but no, but I mean
ones.
But there were the supermodel name came in the mid 80s. If we ever get to this where it's how was this a hit? At some point we're going to look at RuPaul supermodel. But
Shante.
Right, but there's a certain reality that like right now there's the same amount of elite models, but Kylie Jenner, I guess if she's the number one model, is it because she's hot? Is it because of the catwalk, or is it really because of Instagram?
The thing with models now, it's not the same because they build up their fandom in a very different way. Models, the supermodels of the 90s were pop icons that were just clothes hangers.
George Michael video. Whereas now, I mean, if you are, I don't know, here I am in Winnipeg, right? So let's say you're in Flin Flon fucker Manitoba here. But if you're hot and you know how to sort of get that filter going, you can be an Instagram model.
Yep. Yeah. And you don't even have to be that hot because those filters do a lot.
I'm going to have to get me some filters.
You're going to do both, man.
But yeah, if you know how to market yourself, it's not like those days where you needed to get in with an agency. Now you can create your own brand and name and build fame on that. It's you can't compare the two.
But back then, when you said I'm a model, I mean, there was they were spoofing arrogance, even though they looked like they could have been on the catwalk themselves.
Well, these guys were very similar in the lampooning, and they were doing it beforehand. But then Chumbawamba comes along and does Tub Thumping, which is lampooning your soccer fans, your football fans. Football.
I drink some whiskey drink. I drink some lager drink. I drink some cider drink.
He drinks a lot of drinks.
Sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times.
But you think even more recent than that? What about Party Rock Anthem? Yeah. What were those dudes?
Number one, and where the hell are those fuckers?
LFMAO?
Oh, well, you know what's LMAO? What's great is they come out with a song called Party Rock Anthem, and then they come out with an album saying sorry for party rocking, and then they just disappear off the face of the earth. Okay, I'm calling it now. That's what we're doing next week.
There we go.
It is your
Party
choice.
Rock Anthem. Party Rock is in the house tonight.
All right.
It's a similar parody kind of making fun of what's going on in the pop music and pop culture scene.
So I do want to say more. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brad.
Oh, I was just saying it's totally self-effacing. And a lot of that doesn't go over as well in North America as it does in the UK. Taking the piss is a bigger thing over there. That's why I think these two bands that came out of the UK were doing really well for themselves with that. And it just so happened that the songs they released were kind of bangers for the time and got worldwide listenership.
It's really interesting because you think of what else was number one around this time, and you've got Bryan Adams. You got like a bunch of spoopy love songs. And I think this was just kind of a nice break from that.
Here's what I found also interesting too. This did not go number one in the UK.
No, but they had their two other songs, Dippity Don't and what I know it's not, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it was either. But because they were not hits over here. So British people are saying, like, how do you not know this? Because they weren't hits over here. I don't know what to tell you.
There's some stuff that crosses the pond and some stuff that doesn't.
Yeah, some things just,
but
like, they just drown.
Yeah. Or they stay on that side of the water where they belong.
And I'm sure they think vice versa.
There's a lot of stuff that we shouldn't export, but I'm really glad that Canada got rid of Celine Dion.
No.
What gets shipped down to Vegas stays in Vegas.
Is she still performing in Vegas?
I don't know. I hope she, isn't or is or wherever she's appreciated more than anywhere near me.
I appreciate her talent. I appreciate her talent. I just don't like her music.
I don't like her.
I don't know her, but she could warble on about whatever somewhere else.
Anyway, back to Right Said Fred.
But
the group.
I do think it is worth mentioning that this is not a one-hit wonder everywhere. This song, for whatever you want to say about it, lives. It's catchy. It's one of those things where I don't care what the history of models are, because we talk about models and whatnot and how it's evolved or devolved, however you want to say. But I'm a model. It's all about arrogance and what you look like.
Yeah. I have to say also, as a preteen when this song came out, I loved it because my friends and I, and pretty much everybody my age, just strutted around saying like, I'm too sexy for my homework, too sexy for, for my chores. It didn't get me out of anything, but it was a pretty good way of protesting.
Well, you got a cat. Are you too sexy for Ivan, your pussycat?
I'm not too sexy for my pussycat.
Pussycat?
Oh, pussycat. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff going on, like Tom Jones almost.
It was a really fun song as a kid because you could put you could throw anything in there and then like annoy your parents by singing it while you're washing the dishes. I'm too sexy for these dishes, too sexy for my brother. Like anything I didn't want to interact with was just
you were too sexy for it.
Yeah, I'm too sexy to be talking to my brother. Like,
okay, so let's go back. Okay, what were they too sexy for?
Oh, I was too sexy for my shirt, for my hat, for my car.
Yeah.
I was too sexy, eh?
A party.
The way you're disco dancing.
Well, they're too sexy for this party.
Yeah.
The way I'm disco dancing. Yeah, okay. Pussycat.
They're too sexy for Milan, New York.
Oh, that's what it is.
New York and Japan.
His cat is named after James Bond.
What?
Pussy.
How did I miss that?
Cat. Like Bond, James Bond.
I love James Bond. I loved how in all those old movies he would just sort of like bang whoever, and then that person would die, and then he would look sad, and then 20 minutes later he was with someone else.
Sure.
Yeah. And he always banged one of the villains. Like there was always a female associate of the villain that he banged.
Sure.
I mean, it was like,
when am I going to get the shield without any panties on?
I found the cure for the 20th century. And now that was Medicine Man. Sorry.
I thought it was Fat Bastard there for a second.
Yeah, well, that's the closest I can do to any kind of Sean Connery, the coolest man.
No, what you've got to do is act like you've got a bunch of marbles in your mouth and you're trying to chew steak.
What's great about Sean Connery is his accent got thicker as he got older.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the only thing that got thicker as he got older. Hey,
yeah, his treasure trail is pretty epic.
His waist,
his treasure trail, but he's too sexy for that.
So back to Right Said Fred.
Yeah. So these guys don't disappear. They don't fall off the map, not in the UK. As a matter of fact, not even over here in North America, because they were credited as songwriters with Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do.
Which is really funny. If you think about Look What You Made Me Do, it is a bitchy ass song.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sampling just the most ridiculous campy song in it. And it's actually kind of a nice juxtaposition of like, I don't know if she really gets it, that she's trying to like throw things back in people's face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw something back at you, Kanye, with Right Said Fred.
Yeah, whereas Right Said Fred was poking fun at models and
they were just
poking fun at vanity.
But it was
happy to take that check.
Well, no, but for sure. But what I'm saying is, I think for Taylor Swift to use the song, I don't think she got that the song wasn't mean. There was nothing. They were poking fun and taking the piss. They weren't being mean about it. Whereas I think she was genuinely trying to be mean.
Yeah, she was, but I mean, I think she was just sort of like taking a pretty killer chord and just running with it.
Either way, I don't think these guys care what happens to their music as long as they're collecting the paycheck. And I think they've collected a fair amount of healthy paychecks.
Can I put this out? I just never want to do Taylor Swift, okay?
I like actually a lot of her songs.
I like some of her stuff.
I think it's, what is it called? Calm Down is one of my favorites by her. 100% right there.
I'm just
and the
putting
video
that out
is
there,
epic.
and it's still technically my show.
If we pick a song.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Andrea.
Hey, you made us talk about having my baby. So.
But it was a wonderful way of saying how much I loved you.
That has got to be one of the all-time worst songs ever.
Oh, it's right up there. I mean, the Singing Nun wasn't epic.
Oh, but that's the Singing Nuns. It's got a good story, so I can't complain about that one.
The story was great. The song was poo.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything more about Right Said Fred? I'll say this. I think it's pretty cool that they are massively self-aware.
Oh yeah.
They're also too sexy for vaccines.
Were they anti-vaxxers?
Both of them. They made the news recently. One of them was hospitalized with COVID.
I think one of them was also too sexy for heterosexuality.
That is correct.
Yeah. Only one?
But no, I think what it is he's strong enough for a woman, but made for a man.
Break men. No, which is colossally irrelevant, but no, I mean, this is, again, I hated it then. I don't care for it now, but I appreciated its novelty. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and there's a reason why it remains an earworm today and that people today still know about it. And if you put it on, people will get that strut going on and what have you. I mean, there's a reason why. It's a complete earworm. It is a banger. It's got a funky beat, and I can dance to it like the great Dick Clark would have said.
Or Wayne Gretzky when he was a guest star on Dance Fever. But anyway.
Pretty sure there's a clip out there of Ernest Borgnine singing it. So
no.
I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm quite sure.
Ernest Borgnine, the world's greatest, most overrated actor who always got work, and yet it's like, well, it's Ernest Borgnine. He's got an Oscar. Yeah, but he
always played Ernest Borgnine. He was an expert at playing Ernest Borgnine.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like he's the biggest exporter of Ernest Borgnine. Just like when you think about like, hey, like El Salvador, What are they known for? Well, El Salvadorians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Keanu Reeves is an actor. Keanu Reeves, if you go to a Keanu Reeves movie, you know you're getting Keanu Reeves.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And he has changed his whoa a little bit from, Bill and Ted's with whoa to more of a Matrix whoa. It's definitely it's changed.
I had that on my bingo card, by the way.
What? Whoa?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. Let's move on. All right.
Moving right along.
Okay. Thank you. I think we've done a pretty good job sort of looking at this super fun song that a lot of people liked. But Andrea, is that what are we doing?
Yeah, we're going with LMAO.
LFMAO.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. LMFAO.
LMAO plus.
Anyways, every day we're shuffling.
Do.
Britney, bitch. Anyway. Well, thank you all so much for showing up. Thank you for all of you for making comments. We like comments. Even Andrea and I like comments when you tell us to go back into someone's crevice.
Hey, we'll crawl. Well, tell us to crawl into a crevice. We might not do it, but we're here for listening to you complain.
Well, I'll crawl. But anyway, I'll do all that. But anyway, all of you who are sort of commenting and
wait, I thought you'd do anything for comments, but you wouldn't do that.
I would do anything for love, but not that. So thank you all for that. Hey, guys, did I tell you I wrote a book?
Wait, what? You can read?
Yeah. I don't know if I can read, but I can write.
It's a start.
Yeah. It's just reading, writing, arithmetic. I can just do writing arithmetic. Hey, so Chavo Guerrero, instant classic, check that out, Amazon.com. It's the autobiography of the late, great Chavo Guerrero Sr. Also, the weekly Hall of Fame show with Evan Nolan and I, where we look at Hall of Fame related news, because it's called notinhalloffame.com. What do you think we talk about? All that.
Not in the Hall of Fame?
Well, there you go. Because it's not in the Hall of Fame, we don't talk about it. I don't know. Anyway, so thank you so much. So wherever you are, wherever you may be, stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.